Kempire is brought to you by. Do you know how important it is to rate and review a podcast? Rate and review the Kempire podcast today. 5 stars. Let us know what you love about the podcast. Rate and review the Kempire podcast on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Did you know that you can watch the Kempire channel on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitter? Follow us on all of our platforms. More information on our YouTube, our Blue Sky, our Twitter, aka X, and more socials, and every way that you can support us will be available in the episode notes. You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. And let me know if you can see me, hear me, and all that good stuff. This is our weekly recap and our final recap for season 11 of Married to Medicine. How would you guys rate this week's episode? Honestly, after watching it for a third time, I was sort of like, I really don't feel like recapping it. It's the same stuff that we've been talking about all season, and then they did the damn stupid song in between.
Set me free. I wanna be free. Get on with my life now. I wanna get on with my life now. I got a brand new wife now. I'm gonna have a little baby child. A little baby child. A little baby child.
Good job, Gregory. You did a great job.
Really? It felt like such a filler episode, but I understand they had to address what happened at the end of last week's reunion, and then and fill whatever we had in this reunion. I'm like, okay, fine. I still believe that they need to do a cast shakeup next season. I don't care, because you see how they try to make it seem like everybody was getting along. We're all good. Even Dr. Simone, when she made the toast at the end and she excused Heavenly's behavior, I was like, Dr. Simone, it's like you had a head transplant this season, because I don't understand why you keep making excuses for Heavenly's behavior. As someone that used to like Heavenly on the show, even I am like, okay, Heavenly, no. And Heavenly, in your little apology tour in this reunion, only for you to do the same behavior next season? No, I don't. No, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. And the other day we addressed Heavenly addressing the rumor that her son may have been arrested. Even then, it was sort of like, okay, that doesn't sound like the truth, but okay. Girl, if you don't want to share your life, and I said not everyone has a terrible life, so not everyone's life is blowing up, but if there's stuff that you are hiding from the camera, girl, get off the show. Get off the show, because I'm tired of you producing. Now you're self-proclaimed producer. Now you shucking and jiving to the fans. Mariah said that not last year, the year before, so that's what you do. You shuck and jive to the fans. We saw it all season. You saw that the Quad Squad was all up on this cast. So you were like, I'm going to be friends with Quad. I'm going to be friends with Quad because everyone loves Quad. I'm going to be friends with Quad. I was just like, oh, okay. And maybe personally, I like people that have a mind of their own. So when I see you don't have a mind of your own, I'm like, okay, lame. Lame. Thank you, Olivia. We say this every single week. Olivia says, bring Audra back. Bring her back. I like Audra. If they're trying to skew younger, I like Audra. I think Audra was a better fit than Sweet Tea is. And you saw how Sweet Tea, remember we said we weren't sure if Sweet Tea was going to want to come back, especially after the things that they've been saying in these last few episodes. So now she's saying at this reunion, I could see us coexisting, her and Dr. Gregory coexisting with Quad and King. I don't want to hear or see Quad, King, Dr. Gregory, or Sweet Tea, and there is no way that these two couples can coexist on the same show. And can I blame them in real life? No. I wouldn't want to be filming with my ex and their new wife. That would have been interesting. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I dated someone and now all of a sudden they're straight and now they have a wife. That would have been funny. But I wouldn't want to do that. No one cares. And Dr. Jackie, exactly. Antoinette, Dr. Jackie gives nothing. Oh, but everyone says she's the medicine. No, we can find somebody that's interesting and that's part of medicine. I'm tired of Dr. Jackie too. And I'm tired of people not holding her accountable on the show. But okay, whatever. Pink says, thank you, Kempire. Call a thing a thing. I took notes, but part of me doesn't even want to pay attention to the notes. You know how the part 2 of the Married to Medicine reunion ended? It ended with the big blow up between Quad and Dr. Simone. And Dr. Simone says, you gave us your ass to kiss, and we were friends with Greg. Fine. So Quad goes in on her, and she's like, shut the F up, you dirty B word. I don't think they showed that part in part 3. They showed it in part 2. I don't think they showed that part where she called her a B. So Dr. Simone's all up in Quad's face, and Quad, I wanted them to let them go because I want to see if they're really about that life. I was like, let them go. Let them get in each other's faces. Why are we like, let them go? Look, because I feel like sometimes these reality TV stars are motivated by the appearance like they're going to fight and they're not going to fight. And people are holding them back. No, let them go. Let's see if they're about that life. And if they actually end up fighting, then you pull them apart. I'm just saying, because I'm watching it again, I'm like, let them go. All right? Let them go. Let's see. Let's see what's going to happen. So they pulled Dr. Simone out of there because Dr. Simone was going off on Quad because Quad ends up bringing, I was there for you. I was out, looking for your father. I mean, if that's the only recent thing that you can bring up, that's not that recent. How long ago was that? But okay, it's fine. I feel like these reality TV stars are paying attention to what y'all are saying in the comment section. You guys are saying all this stuff. What? Simone forgets about all the things that you've done for her when you were looking for your father. I feel like y'all get into these Bravo celebrities' heads, and that's what they use as their excuses on these reunions. Okay? Sage says, not Zeus Kempire. Let them go. I mean, I just want to see, because I don't think they're going to actually do anything besides like being in each other's face. I don't feel like they're going to physically fight. And if they do, that's when you get in and you pull them apart. I know, legal liability, whatever. I'm telling you what I thought, okay? I'm not saying that's what they should have done. I'm just telling you at the moment when I'm watching, I'm like, let them go. Let's see. So Simone's yelling. She's yelling, you were only there with... Simone gets really upset the fact that Quad brought up her father. Quad, though, is upset with Dr. Simone, saying, what do you mean by karma? She's like, well, you gave us your ass to kill, so we gave you ours. In regards to the friendship with Dr. Gregory. You weren't being friends with us, so we remain friends with Dr. Gregory. Okay? Zelene says Quad does read the comments. I know! You could tell. But she's not the only one on this cast. See, that's the thing. I think people think especially if you come in at a certain point during our recap, you're like, oh, you're team this one. We are team no one over here, for those that don't understand. 1 week, we could be like, yeah, I see your side of it. Within this conversation alone, I'm like, I can see your side of it. I can see your side of it. I don't agree with either one. I feel like there's no one on this cast left that's likable. And the only one that right now is likable is Toya, but we know that might not last because there have been seasons where Toya was not likable. And I know that woman is still in there. I know that woman is still in there.
It's this, honey.
Come on. We saw a glimmer of it. Let's have a birthday. Let's have a party for my Birkin. You know what I mean? So, exactly. Jasmine says, team twerking on the fence. Forever over here. We don't know these people. We don't care. Like, we're watching a show. We're basing our opinions on what we're watching, an edited show. It's not that deep for us. Okay? Okay. I'm not even paying attention to notes. I don't really care. I'm just giving you the basic, because I just feel like it's the same story over and over again. Okay? So Dr. Simone gets really upset, so they pull her into another room. Dr. Jackie pulls her into another room. Sweet Tea goes to the other room. Did you notice I don't know if this was in the Bravo version, but it was definitely in the Peacock version. Dr. Simone is like, get out, Sweet Tea, get out. I'm sorry, Sweet Tea, it was funny. And you left. Look, and you left. Sweet Tea was like, it was like, like your grandmother. Your grandmother said, like, you go sit down. Because she's like, Sweet Tea, leave. Get out of here. Get out of here. I was like, damn. Why so hard? Well, Sweet Tea was about to say something. And again, we're watching an edited show. We don't know if Sweet Tea said a whole bunch of stuff. And that's why Dr. Jackie was so forceful with her and told her to get out the room. Dr. Jackie, I'm sorry. Who did I say? Dr. Simone? Who did I say? I don't remember. Anyway, so Dr. Jackie kicking her out the room. And I was just like, oh. I was like, what's happening? J-Spot, the real Jackie, showed up. Yes, Jackie, Dr. Jackie, Dr. Jackie. Who did I say? I can't even remember. How did I mix up Dr. This is the one time that Dr. Jackie had a moment. Okay? The one time that Dr. Jackie had a moment. And I forgot, and I called her someone else. It's all right. Oh, I said Dr. Simone. Well, Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone go into the other room. And Dr. Jackie kicks Sweet Tea out the room. I'm sorry. I was like, oh. And Sweet Tea left. So they have a conversation, and Dr. Simone says, Jackie, you know that Quad has not been there. Not a text, not a call. So Dr. Simone is saying, during that time, when it came with her father and looking for her father, Quad was only there when they were filming. She wasn't calling her. She wasn't texting her. And this is back then. So there's been a pattern of behavior. All right. And I know people do not like Dr. Simone. I get it. There are plenty of reasons not to like Dr. Simone. But I need us to see where Quad is involved as well. Quad is not likable. Dr. Simone is not likable. This cast is not likable. Yeah, the more I think, like, who on this cast is likable? That's not a husband. Okay? That's not a husband. Who's likable left on this cast? Fitch on TikTok says, Dr. Jackie can be a friend of the show. Why was she just sitting first chair to be mute? Because that's just to remind us the power that Dr. Jackie has over there at Married to Medicine. And a lot of these doctors, real doctors, do not want to be on reality television with this mess. And I think that's why. Antoinette says, are you tired, Kempire? I am. Talking about the same thing every damn week. When it comes to Married to Medicine, I am tired of talking about it. I'm telling you, I'm watching the episode and I'm like, I got to recap this? This is stupid. So I'm just going to talk about the things that I want to talk about. I'm not going to go play by play. So Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie have their conversation about Quad. Dr. Simone is very upset. Dr. Jackie's trying to calm down. She's like, breathe. All right? Exactly. Naomi said Dr. Jackie is just mute and pleading the fifth. She's not interesting at all. See, Mia says, bring Audra back. Audra should have never left, if we're going to be honest. And I know there are certain people that did not like Audra. And I think they should have ignored that and just let it play out. There are always going to be, the fans that are like, they don't like anyone new. Okay? A lady first says, Toya is likable. She is hilarious and entertaining. This season she is, but I haven't forgot about Toya, the seasons where she wasn't likable. There were seasons like that. I think she's definitely the MVP this season, but there were seasons where Toya was not likable or accountable. This season she is, but maybe that's growth. I just feel like it was like 2 seasons ago we were talking about that, but okay. Because even Toya was trying to talk sense into Quad. Go figure. They weren't in the best place. And she was trying to tell Quad, at least she's communicating with you, Quad. At least she's communicating with you. S. Lover says, I liked Audra. She was good for the show. I say it every week. Audra, can you hear me? All right, let me move on. So they had that beef backstage, but the men are on stage with Andy talking about their issues, okay? So they joke about who would win in a fight between Dr. Gregory and King. And even Dr. Gregory knows that he couldn't take King. He says, he's younger than me. And maybe with my wife. Why is he always putting his wives to work? Even in a fight, he's putting Sweet Tea to work. He's like, maybe with Sweet Tea and her combat training, she'd be able to they could take King. All right. All right. In regards to Dr. Gregory owing Sweet Tea an apology, he's like, I owe Sweet Tea an apology for how he spoke to her. Which time? Because there have been multiple times this season alone where he's spoken to Sweet Tea, and I'm just like, sir, like, what are you doing? But we're not surprised. This is a pattern of behavior, which King calls out. King says there seems to be some sort of pattern with the way that you speak to women. There is. And he hasn't changed. He only got a younger woman in order to, I guess, feel like he can control her and that she would put up with his BS. Paula says Greg is Mr. from The Color Purple. No, don't even give him that. Come on. Mr. from The Color Purple was abusive, but at least Mr. I could see where someone be like, you know what? That's a fine man. Dr. Gregory doesn't give me like, you see him or you hear him and you're like, oh, yes. No, I don't, there, yes, abusive, yes. But no, I just think different. Different in that regard. All right. Princess Gabby says, does Letitia have daddy issues? Has Letitia talked about her father? I don't feel like she's talked about her father. Was she raised with her father? I mean, that would explain the Gregory situation. What is Tisha's father's situation? I don't feel like I've heard her talk about her father. And if she did, it's been very brief. Someone remind me, where her daddy at? I always hear her talk about her mom, but I don't hear her talk about her dad. No, I don't know. I guess you guys will remind me in the chat. Where her daddy at? Vita on TikTok says, how do you feel about Mimi? I don't feel like we had a lot to go by with Mimi. I have to say in the reunion, though, she really did show up. And again, if you want to skew younger, if you want a doctor, I have to say, of the psychiatrist on the show, she's definitely the one that seems like a psychiatrist, unlike the other ones. Okay? All right. CM says she was raised by both parents, but she never really mentions her father. Right? Natasha says she hasn't spoken on him. Butterfly says that her father's younger than Greg. Lord. And look, it should also be noted, and I'm not saying that this is a situation with Sweet Tea, just because a father is in the home doesn't mean that he's actually present emotionally. Not saying that's a situation with Sweet Tea, but I'm just saying just because he's in the home doesn't mean that he is a father that is present emotionally for a child. Just saying. T says a qualified psychiatrist. All right. So the husbands are having that conversation. King says, King addresses the whole police report charges. He says that they called the police department and there were no charges, and the cops laughed at it. Dr. Gregory says that, he withdrew the charges. What do you guys believe? Do you believe that Dr. Gregory actually filed charges, or did he just make a complaint to production? Or did he do both? I don't know. At this particular point, I don't care. I believe that his whole motivation wasn't that fact that he was scared. Did he have a right to? I mean, you could file a lawsuit and file charges all you want, even if there isn't actual evidence. Doesn't mean anything. It's going to go anywhere. However, I do believe his main motivation was to ensure that King and Quad would not be on the show, to stop them from filming. But what we saw was production did continue to film with them, a film with King and Quad. They just did it separately from him. If anything, they alienated Dr. Gregory, which I'm just like, that's an interesting way for production to handle it. But a word on the street, he wanted a lot of security at the reunion, hence why he was separated from the rest of the guys. I mean, they could have put the security with him and the other guys and King in another room. It does feel like a retaliation. I mean, look, I know he asked for additional security, but why is he separated from the other guys? He doesn't have an issue with the other guys. It's an interesting way to handle it, right? HR professionals, I think that's an interesting way for them to handle it. All right. So they talk about the fight between him and King. Greg says he doesn't see anything wrong with saying that Quad had a big effing mouth. And King is like, see, this guy's weird. He doesn't understand it. I think there is something that is a main thing with Dr. Gregory. The fact that he at this reunion is saying that he doesn't see anything wrong with saying that Quad has a big effing mouth says to me, this is how he treats women. This is how he is with women. This is how he is with Sweet Tea. Yes, Quad could have been she was doing a lot during the trip. However, the way that he was speaking, he could say like, Quad is doing a lot. You are a psychiatrist, and I hold you at a different standard because you should be able to understand how to de-escalate a situation. And time after time, you've never shown that you are able to de-escalate a situation. And I know people will say, Kempire, he's human. Yes, but he is specifically trained in how to deal with situations like this, how to de-escalate a situation. And I get it, when you're in a relationship, when you have your own triggers, blah, 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 that's all well and good. But there has never been a time with Dr. Gregory where I've been like, okay, so there it is. I'm seeing the professionalism. I'm like, we've seen it time after time with Dr. Mimi. And we just were introduced. Dr. Mimi didn't even get that much camera time. And we've seen so many times how she's able to de-escalate a situation, how she shows up as a psychiatrist. I have never seen that with Dr. Gregory. I almost forgot that he's a psychiatrist. Someone said his patient reviews are horrible. I know, we talked about it. So part of what his reaction on that trip, he blames on what was going on outside the show, which he was having issues. We've heard that he was having issues with his, I guess, one of the hospitals that he works with, and he was no longer working with them. And I keep asking, why? What happened? I just have questions. Why did he stop working with them, or did they stop working with him? I'm just saying, his behavior says to me, like, look, that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Like, me personally, I personally would not be going to a doctor like this. First of all, I wouldn't be going to a doctor that I've seen on reality television. Secondly, I wouldn't be going to a doctor I've seen on reality television talk to women the way that he's talked to women, his own wife, his ex-wife, and how he did. And then you did this.
Set me free.
Then you did this.
I wanna be free. Get on with my life now. I wanna get on with my life now. I got a brand new wife now. I'm gonna have a little baby child. A little baby child. A little baby child.
Good job, Gregory. You did a great job.
And look, Bernita, I agree with you here too. That's why I say I feel like there's no one innocent here. Damn, we have another recap where no one's innocent. Okay. Bernita says Quad is not taking accountability on how she gets under his skin. She isn't. And she wasn't taking accountability with the Dr. Simone stuff either. Well, she does a little bit. All right, let's move on. So they have that conversation. King is just like, he's weird. He doesn't get it. He still doesn't understand how saying that is not right. So the husbands go backstage, so they're not realizing what happened. They're not realizing what happened with Quad and Dr. Simone. So they're backstage reacting to that. So when they get back to the stage where the women join the husbands, all right? CV says, Kempire, you're normalizing this song. Not after today. I'm removing the song after today. The only reason why I play is because shout out to our community. They raised over $500 in super chats. And I should have made it higher. Next time. They raised over $500 in super chats, which I only get, 50%? Not 50. I mean, I was like 50%. Like, how much do we get? I can't remember, but we don't get 100%. So I didn't cash all of that for myself. Okay. Half of that's going to YouTube. All right. All right. So the husbands can join the wives on stage. Andy addresses the issue between Quad and Dr. Simone. Quad asks Dr. Simone, what was that karma comment about? And she explains it because a lot of people have been running with the narrative that what she was talking about, that Dr. Simone was talking about, was Quad's niece situation. Dr. Simone says that basically you decided not to be our friend, so we continue with the friendships that we had in place. And she says Cecil and Dr. Gregory have always had a friendship. Their friendship has never changed. All right. So Simone, let me see. Oh, Simone doesn't feel like Quad has taken any accountability. Quad does admit that she's holding on to some stuff from the previous season. Right? So Dr. Heavenly decides in this moment, I don't know where this came from. I don't know if it's the edit, but Dr. Heavenly wanted to make it about her. She's like, Contessa, real dramatic, like, Contessa, you know what? Your inner child probably does need to heal. Because I feel like I could see you as a kid doing this, pretending like you're apologizing when your mother tells you, apologize to your sister. So Dr. Heavenly is just like, oh, Contessa, we got to move on. I saw, with the Simone and stuff that I didn't know what room to go to. And we got to end this. We got to get through this, sister. We got to get through this. So she was on an apology tour, Dr. Heavenly, in part 3 of the Married to Medicine reunion. But I'm not falling for it, Dr. Heavenly. I'm not falling for it. Because that's the thing with you. You will apologize and then go to hell again next season. And then be like, I don't know. I don't know where that came from. I'm so sorry. So she was very apologetic in part 3 of the Married to Medicine reunion. Samara, thank you so much for your generous super chat. Let me shimmy. That's very, I don't know what that translates into Canadian, but I could tell it's expensive. Samara says, just a thank you for providing a fun, entertaining space for us. I am always entertained by you and the wonderful community you've created. Thank you, Samara. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for your generosity. And Meet, thank you so much for another super chat. Meet was here during our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. Amit says, Quad brought up Simone's dad's search shown on TV. Simone called out Quad's family tragedy as she begged her to stop sobbing in front of us all. Mean. All right. I can't tell you guys how tired I am of talking about the Quad and Simone stuff, the Quad and the Dr. Gregory stuff. I'm just, we talked about that all season and we haven't made any head ground. And I agree with Quad. I don't know. I don't think that they can coexist on the show. Sweet Tea's like, I think we could coexist. And Quad's like, I don't want to put my man in a compromising position. I don't blame her. But that was Quad basically saying, you try to get me kicked off the show. Well, guess what? I can't film with you. So she's drawing a line in the sand with production saying that I can't film with him. And honestly, we don't want to see it. Gossip News and True Crime, thank you for the super chat and for being a member. They say, honestly, can we only keep Toya at this point? Maybe bring Contessa back. It's very clear they're going to bring Contessa back. We saw that they brought her out from the very beginning of the reunion. They basically had her there like she was full time. And you saw what Dr. Simone said at the end. She was like, welcome back, Contessa. So for me, that was a perfect segue of saying that Dr. Contessa is back full time on Married to Medicine. But what exactly is she going to share next season? She said that everything is good with her and Dr. Scott. They went into counseling. All right. Okay. Love, calm, peace. Thank you for the super chat. I would give Married to Medicine overall rating of 4.2 out of 10. Ooh. Yeah, guys, how would you rate this season? If you had to rate the season from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? I mean, if I had to rate the reunion, I would give it a 5. If I had to rate the season, I probably would give it a 6.5. I was going to say 7, but I'm going to give it a 6.5 because I feel like a 7 is generous. This has not been their best season, especially when you think if you've watched all of their seasons like I have. This has not been their best season. If anything, it's gotten to a point where it's like y'all should have recasted this season. Thank you, Love, Calm, Peace, for the super chat. Ali, thank you so much for the super chat. Ali says, build the show around Toya and bring back Audra, Anila, Mariah, and Carrie. Let it be about the women actually married to medicine. We don't need these mean doctors. I know everyone keeps saying bring Mariah back, but Mariah is not friends with anyone on this cast. Ali says, after today, the song is gone. Hallelujah.
Set me free.
I want to be free. Get on. Yeah, I want to get on. Brand new wife now. Baby child. A little baby child. A little baby child.
Good job, Gregory. You did a great job.
It looked like they were testing Anila out this season because we saw her in so many scenes. It looks like they were considering bringing her back, and it just ended up not happening. I don't know. CB says, I'm getting PTSD. Sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Monet says the song is catchy, better than Countess. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stop. All right. What else do I want to talk about in regards to this reunion? Also, they end up talking about when is King going to propose to Quad. So I have some thoughts. I've said these thoughts before. I'm going to say it again. It's not that I don't believe Quad and King's relationship. I believe that it's a real relationship. I don't believe they're having sex 15 times a week. I don't believe that. I said this at the top of the season. Quad has done everything and anything to secure her spot on this season. I'm not mad at it. Good for you. She made friends and made nice with the crew. She had a little drama. She has a boyfriend. I don't believe that Quad and King have been together, based off the timeline of the show, a year before her introducing it to the rest of the group. I don't believe that. I believe that they've probably been dating 3-4 months, maybe, at the time of filming. Maybe now they've made a year. I don't believe Quad in regards to the timeline of how long they've been together, to be honest. But that's just me. But he said that there's no pressure, but it's coming soon when it comes to them getting married. iRock on TikTok says, I don't believe it's a real relationship. I mean, I could rock with that, but I'm going to give them a little grace. I'm going to give them a grace. I think it's a real relationship. I just don't think it's as long as they're claiming it is. And I also don't think it was as serious then as they're claiming it is now. She knew she needed to have her own storyline, so she decided to. It makes so much sense when you look at their interactions and all the little things that she was saying to him throughout the season. I was just like, Even their little scene outside in the hot tub when he was talking about where they're going to live together. I was like, just saying. That's how I feel. You can disagree, but that's how I feel. Okay. Yes, I don't know if I believe that it's as long as they're saying. Okay, but let me take a sip. Who said that D says he was on the season finale for season 10. Is there proof of that, or are you just saying that? Where's that proof? I've never seen them re-show that. And maybe they were friends back then, but I don't believe that this relationship is as long as she's claiming it to be. But that's me. But a lot of y'all like to just say stuff and there is no facts to it. Beautiful Gem says it's giving fake enforced. Look. Rachel says that King was already present a year ago on Instagram of Yandy. Again, they could have been friends. I just don't believe that it's as serious as they pretended it was this season. That's my thoughts. Okay. All right. Moving on. Laura says that if you follow her, you see that he's been in pictures for a while. Yes, he's been in the pictures for a while. She just wasn't showing him to the world. Possible, but again, just because someone's in your life doesn't mean that you are in a relationship. Just saying, based off of their interactions during the season, it wasn't giving serious relationship. It was definitely giving, let's push this as the narrative for this season. Okay. Ali says, people always rewriting history for their faves. Just saying. But I say all that to say, Millie, thank you so much for the super chat. Millie says, I didn't watch this episode. There's no resolution and it feels forced. Storylines are drying up and friendships feel fake. I wouldn't take marriage advice from any of these couples. That part, Millie. You summed it up. So does that mean I can be done for the day? Just saying. Okay, but anyway, I just say that's my feeling. I'm not saying that's fact. That's my feeling. Because you remember, if you saw the recaps at the beginning, I was like, well, no, I think it's a real relationship. I don't know if I believe that it's as serious as they claimed it to be during the season. They could be serious now, but I feel like during the season, I don't know if they were as serious as they were claiming it to be. But I could be wrong. All right, let's move on. Greg apologizes to Quad and claims that he was going through things outside of the situation. But he says, this is what Dr. Gregory says, this isn't his typical response. Dr. Gregory, we've seen your typical response. This is your typical response when it comes to conflict. This is your typical response. He said, this is not my typical response. Yes, it is. So Quad says that she doesn't want her sharing her thoughts on King to be some sort of dig at Gregory here on the show. She says that Greg filing charges was his attempt to out her out of the group, to get her out of the group. I feel that way too. They then asked Dr. Damon about his defense of King and how King was See, this is the other thing too. we do realize that King and Quad are not married, right? Because they keep making and look, some people might be like, well, no matter what, it's your girlfriend, whatever. But they keep making the association, this is how you defend your wife. This is how you defend your wife. King is not married to Quad. I'm not saying that it's different just because they're not married, but just the association, they keep saying, this is how you defend your wife. And I'm like, but y'all do realize that King and Quad are not married, right? Because they don't say, well, this is how you defend your woman. They just keep saying, this is how you defend your wife. This is how you defend your wife. And I'm like, wait, are they married? And we don't know? They're not married. Okay. So I find that to be interesting. But also the question to the audience, would it be different for you in regards to how your man defends you if you're married or not married? A question. Tanya on TikTok says, not even engaged. Damn. Jessica says that's his partner, though. I know, but they never say it like that. You know what I mean? It'd be different because for me, in that situation, I would probably be like, well, that's how you defend your wife or your partner or your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Okay. Darian says she took her own digs in regards to Dr. Gregory. Maybe. So then they start talking about Dr. Gregory brings up the fact that Quad was joking about or bringing up the fact that she was going to throw a baby shower for them. And he says that, what did he say? Oh, Quad defended herself by saying that was just her way of saying that they've moved on. There's no ill feelings, that she would even throw. That's how I took it initially as well. Okay, that's how I would have taken it. That's how I initially took it. I was like, she's drunk, y'all. It's not that deep. But I get it. Some people might be triggered by it, especially because they are in the middle of, a fertility journey and things like that. Okay? But it's also weird. Like, why would Quad throw any sort of baby shower for Dr. Gregory and for Sweet Tea? Okay? Eves on TikTok says she isn't rooting for them nor healed. Well, yeah, someone says that Dr. Damon is more vocal this season. A lot of people were saying that. I wish he wouldn't be because here's the thing. It just showed me exactly why he's married to Dr. Heavenly. You guys are cut from the same cloth. Just saying. And I think because people dislike Dr. Gregory so much, they can't see when Dr. Damon is wrong. Just saying. But that's just my opinion. Oh, that's why you're here. All right. What else? I really don't even want to talk about this. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. I'm over it at this particular point. It's the same stuff that we're rehashing. We talked about it separately with the women. Then the husbands talked about it. And then now we're rehashing it again in part 3. We've been talking about this entire season. Dr. Gregory and Quad do not like each other. They do not get along. They had a toxic marriage. They should not be in the same room with each other. They should not be on the same show with each other. There were abuse allegations against each other. Why are we here? Oh, for our entertainment? Fine. Okay, fine. All right, let me take a sip. Then they talk about their divorce. Dr. Gregory says that he could have come after Quad after their divorce. And I'm like, come after her for what? For money? And then Quad says she helped him build that practice. He's like, you helped me build my practice? Yeah, I believe her. I believe Quad when she says she helped build your practice. Because it seems like any woman that you're in a relationship, you put them to work. Now, Sweet Tea's working at your practice. So I believe Quad when she says she helped build your practice. And did, because also it seems as if you need a lot of help. What do you guys see? Look, Sweet Tea, Quad, what did you guys ever see in this man? What did you ever see in this man? I'm trying to find a redeeming quality. What did you ever see in this man? Quad, I mean, at least now with the beard, he looks a little bit better, but then there's that voice. And then it's the way he treats women. Like, I'm trying to see. I don't get it. But this gives hope to everyone. For those that are single, there's someone for everyone. Zelene says T got to work because I believe he isn't working. Lord. And you saw the dig she took. She's like, oh, I'm almost done on her YouTube channel. She said, this is Dr. Simone. I'm almost done paying off Quad's house. Huh? Look. Huh? Millie says some women have tidal blindness. Oh, the fact that he's a doctor? Oh, I guess. Look, I guess. Fine. Oh, thank you. Clancy says access to the money. She's selling T-shirts for that too, y'all. Who actually bought? I'm sure there are some Sweet Tea fans who bought an access to the money T-shirt. Show yourself. And you didn't buy a Kempire hat or T-shirt? You better head on over to the description and go get you some Kempire merch. Okay. Got access to the money. Lord. Okay. All right. So what else happened in this damn reunion? So Greg addresses what he said to Sweet Tea, and he apologizes publicly to her. King says that's not normal behavior. Sweet Tea responds to him. She was like, that's not for you to be concerned with, King. I'm like, okay. But it's not normal behavior. And it's not the first time. It wasn't one time that we saw him talk disrespectfully to Sweet Tea. It doesn't seem like I know Andy said that he apologized to Sweet Tea privately, but he wanted to apologize to her publicly. I don't know if I believe that he apologized to her privately. Okay. Pure luxury salons. I'm about to buy one. Joke. No, you can buy one. Okay. You can buy one. Why not? If you want one. Okay. Then they asked the question whether or not Quad and Dr. Gregory can coexist on the show. We've talked about this. Sweet Tea says that she thinks that they can coexist. Quad says she's not sure because she doesn't want to put her man in a compromising position. I think after the whole charges allegations, Quad was just like, I tried to film with him and tolerate him on the show, but now he's trying to eliminate me from the show. So now I'm gonna draw a line in the sand. I can't coexist with him on the show. I can't blame her. At least with Quad in the King situation, she was still willing to film with him. She could have drew a line in the sand. She could have said, like, he abused me. I don't want to film with him. She could have said that to production. Would they have gone with her, or would that have hindered her opportunity on being on the show? Maybe. Okay. But she saw what he tried to do in regards to eliminate her from the show. I was like, all right. So she says she's not sure if she can coexist with him. So that says to me, like, okay, what's going to happen next season? I hope a cast shift. I don't want to see any of them at this particular point. Like, we do need a shakeup. And I know the ratings beat out Real Housewives of Atlanta last week. That don't mean anything. People love to watch a train wreck, but now they're over the train wreck. The train wreck has happened. Thank you, NYC DNP says, I have 4 sweatshirts. Thank you for the support. Gigi said he's a mean little man. Well, that mean little man gets up and he performs this song. Enough of that. He gets up, he takes off his shirt, he puts on a hat backwards. And he has his tie in his pocket. He's got access to the money's T-shirt on. And he starts singing. Set me, like, real serious with it. I'm watching everyone else's face and they're like, what is going on? I know Quad is thinking to herself, how in the hell did I stay with that man for forever? How long? I don't know, Quad. I'm wondering myself. Look, I'm wondering myself. Like, how could you be with that man? Like, I wouldn't even want people to say that I was ever with that man. Cody says Kempire secretly loves the song. I really don't. I'm just giving the people their money's worth. Okay. K-Shav says it was Eugene in the background for me. That's secondhand embarrassment. Dr. Contessa said it's worse in person. I bet. The fact that he had the nerve to say, he's such a corny man. I can't. Anyways, let's move on. All right, before we move on to the end, because the last part of the Married to Medicine reunion was basically them just not rehashing, but saying nice things to each other, trying to move forward, trying to end it off with a nice little bow on it. We don't care, production, network. We need a cash change if you're going to bring the show back. So let me drop the call-in link for our members first. Live chat, I will drop the call link for you guys. Let's get to 700 likes, and I'll drop the call link for you guys. We have almost 1,900 people, almost 2,000 people watching. We appreciate you all being here. Let me drop this on the community tab. or the post tab as they call it now. So Team Kempire members, Royal Court members, and Senior Royals, we're dropping the call link for you guys now as I try, because I really, I'm over it. I'm over the season. I'm over Married to Medicine. I'm so looking forward. I'm be honest with you guys. I'm so looking forward to having my Monday afternoons back to myself and not having to talk about, Atlanta and the show on the same. I'm done. I'm just done. Okay. Let me see. Girl with the T. Thank you so much for the super chat. They say, who is better, Ashley or Dr. G? Neither. Neither one should ever pick up a mic and say that they're singing. Gossip, thank you so much for another super chat. Gossip says, I honestly say you should protect your wife or girlfriend. I'm surprised they didn't say that. They just kept on saying wife. And I'm like, that's not the wife, though. Y'all keep saying that. But again, some people might say, it's not different. Thank you so much for the super chat. Not super chat, the gift, Judy, on TikTok. Thank you for the dizzy bird. You just want to see me with the dizzy bird on my head, Judy. DC says, Kempire, did you notice during Quad and Dr. G's exchange, Quad referred to Dr. G as bae? I wonder if that was just a slip of the tongue. I didn't notice that. Did you guys notice that? Bae? How would your man feel if you did that? Bae? First of all, again, I don't even understand. A lot of you y'all, some of y'all noticed that. I wouldn't even admit, like, once I'm done with you, especially when you're a Dr. G, I wouldn't even slip and say bae. You lucky if I remember your name. I'd be like, bae, gross. Sorry. That's Sweet Tea's husband. Let me stop. Haja on TikTok says, I noticed, but I don't think she meant it in a romantic way. I don't think she meant it in a romantic way, but still, why would you say bae to anybody that's Dr. G? RL says that Dr. G is handsome. Maybe for me, yes. Physically, especially now with the beard, and he's better looking. But then we hear his voice, we know his personality, so he's immediately unattractive to me. Kayla, thank you so much for being a member for the Super Chat. We appreciate your support. Guys, you can also support just by liking today's video. Don't forget, you can also hear an audio version of our live recaps and special episodes in the Kempire podcast. And if you want to hear my White Lotus recaps, be sure to subscribe to the Club Kempire on Apple Podcast subscriptions. We've launched the free 3-day trial for those that want to get a taste of it. I will be releasing my finale recap this week, so stay tuned for that. I might do it live. One live, and then I'm going to private the live. So you'll still have to be a member in order if you catch it live, fine. But if you don't, sorry. All right. Let me see. Yeah, he says that Dr. G's a nightmare. All right. Let me I don't care anymore, y'all. Look, we got plenty of people backstage. Was there anything during the final part? Heavenly acting like a lost puppy. Dr. Mimi's helping her, apparently. She said that they're working on stuff together, and Heaven's like, I received that. And then when she has a conversation with I forgot who she was talking to. It was either Contessa or Sweet Tea. And she's like, help me with my words, Dr. Mimi, help me with my words. You are not helpless, Dr. Heavenly. You are a 50-something-year-old woman. If you need help, go for real therapy. Like this whole playing innocent and apologetic only for you to wreak havoc on the internet today, I'm sure. I'm not believing it. Then Andy asked them, can you say something nice about each other? So Heavenly says, I can appreciate how Sweet Tea goes hard for her man. T on Quad says, I can see us probably getting along. We could probably bond over the whole IVF journey. All right. Contested to Heavenly, she's like, I think she looks stunning today. They were very much trying to put a bow on the mess, the fractured group that we have here. Then Dr. Simone does a toast to everyone. And she goes around the room and she does a toast to everyone. When she gets to Dr. Heavenly, I'm like, I don't get it, Dr. Simone. The way that Heavenly has dragged you, she's shown a pattern of behavior. And you clearly say she doesn't mean it. She's not that bad. I was like, I don't get it. Y'all don't make any sense to me, but fine. Keep alienating the audience. Keep bringing these same people back. Please, I promise you, we won't watch. People have already told me that they stopped watching. They only watch my recaps. But please understand, I don't have to recap this show. There are plenty of things for us to talk about and recap. If there's no shift next season, please understand I will shift personally. Miss Sparkle says, you already know Dr. Heavenly's taking it back today on YouTube. Exactly. Ateka says that Dr. Simone loves the drama. Exactly. Jasmine says it's giving alliances, not friendship. Yeah, because I saw what Dr. Heavenly says, that she doesn't really hang out with any of these women, besides maybe like Dr. Jackie. She definitely doesn't hang out with Toya. So that whole narrative that Quad wasn't hanging around you guys. So if none of y'all are really hanging around each other like that, then your case against Quad is moot. Just saying. I'm not a Quad Squad member, but the hypocrisy of it all. Chimona says, poor Kempire, we're using you for recaps. Not anymore. I'll be done. Then y'all gonna have to watch the show yourselves. See, Shannon says, I'll shift with you because I'm tired of this show. We might be shifting next season. Who's with me? I'm ready. All right. We have quite a few people already backstage that want to share their last thoughts on Married to Medicine for season 11. Once we're done, we are done. Next Monday, I'll have Monday after Real Housewives of Atlanta, I'll have Monday afternoon to myself. Yay! Kayla says, Quad's relationship seems real, but Bo's faking it. And like I said, I don't feel like Quad's relationship is fake. I feel like her relationship is not wasn't as serious as she made it to be on the show. I feel like it was fresh. It was fresher than she was making it. Doreen, thank you so much for the super chat. Doreen says, Heavenly already talking about contestant and her husband started up cheating rumors. I saw in that interview she did. So that whole remember the interview she recently did was after the reunion. So she was already stoking the flames already online. All that innocent act at the reunion, we got to do better, sister. And you're talking all this garbage online. That's why I'm over Heavenly and her apologies. Thank you, Doreen. Ariel, thank you so much for another super chat. Ariel says, maybe you should do more scripted shows so you're not stressed out over reality shows. These shows seem to trigger you recently, or maybe annoy you. Annoy, not trigger. Thank you so much, Ariel. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Podcast. As always, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for everything Kempire Radio, head on over to KempireRadio.com.